It's the J Bass Today Show. Get ready for a good time, a good time. It's the J Bass Today Show. Get ready to ride.
Season's greeting. God bless you to each of you. Welcome to the J Bass Today Show. There's an interesting topic, and I just want to jump right into it. Prayerfully this week, which is the week of September 16th, Monday, September 16th, that this will be part of Thursday's episode. And I do pray to be able to have a special guest for this show, but because of the way things have happened, I am sharing my heart now, and I'm pretty sure some of the things that we discuss will come up again as my special guest. I haven't talked to him yet, and so I haven't confirmed, so I'm not saying the name just yet. But the topics, it was just going to be intention, but now it is also adding on the other word of this season, because intention has become a word of the season, is trust. Intention and trust. We really had trust honed in on during the Shattered Cost of a Yes conference. And it stood out to me that something was about to happen to really cause us to have to trust that God has everything in control, that he will never leave us or forsake us. That was the resounding encouragement and word for the conference. And so I took that, and I was yet praising God and just thanking him for his presence and how he allowed me another mountaintop experience. Because when you come from the valley and he allows you on the mountaintop to feel his presence so easily and to just have a mind to worship and to pray, it really makes a difference. And I think I'm kind of different. Sometimes when you get on the mountaintop, those things ease up. But sometimes in the valley, I'm struggling, and I definitely keep up the prayer. But I think it's just the intensity is different. And as I look at this season, the trust is truly being tested. I trust God, it truly, but I know that it's being tested with things that I'm seeing as it relates to government, school, church, just people, social media. I mean, it's just golly. When you're a child, I just use this illustration, but when you're a child, you'll walk past a stranger, and just because they're another human being, you'll smile and say hello. If you just I don't know. You just see another human being. You don't see their culture. You don't see their color. You don't see any threat. You just see another person, and you smile or you say hello, any of that. But you have no clue where that person came from. You have no idea of the threat that is walking past you, and how you smiling or speaking has put you on their radar. And so when I speak of being protected as a baby and a child, even in our teenage years, it just continues on. But we never know. We never know. And with so many different thoughts, it's just sad, because you know that in this culture's rhetoric and what they're saying, they're talking about another culture, and that culture is talking about them as if it's the culture and not some of the people that are in the culture, that are part of the culture. Because not all people who have the color of my skin are the things that anyone would say we are. I don't subscribe to the quote unquote N word. I hate that word, even from people of my own color. You will not offend me like that, because if you do disrespect, well, then that lets me know where we stand. And I have no intention of dealing with you anymore, whether you're in my culture or not. That's just my, and it's sad that I've had probably at least one leader who referred to me as that, and it was said kind of in passing, and I let it slide, but I still, like, okay, I should have said something. I should have said something, but we don't have enough interaction for me to see that possibly happening again. But if it does, then I need to raise that, because in my eyesight, and I had to kind of look it up, because a lot of dictionaries were saying it just referred to a person of color. But what I learned, and the reason I discarded it from my vocabulary, is that you're calling a person ignorant. And yes, there may be some things that I am ignorant of, but you would not use that word to degrade me as if I am not intelligent and have a wonderful, beautiful, expansive mind to think and to operate. And so, how dare you? And that's just my personal thinking. And then you have to humble yourself and realize that's not everybody's thought. There are some people who, because of how low their lives have been, being raised, and the things they've had to overcome dealing with other people. I was thinking about people who are overweight or obese or just fat, that they've had so many people tearing them down about their weight, that sometimes when you listen to their conversation, because they don't have much else going on in their lives and activities, a lot of times their conversation is gossip. But you can't say that's relegated or that they gossip the most, because you hear people who are my size or smaller, or even a little heavier, who gossip like you don't have a life to focus on. You're looking at everybody else, and it is disheartening. It really is. And for me, these things hit home because I have to, as much as I've been closed off, my life has been greatly condensed. Greatly condensed. I was sharing with Tay from the Jay Tay Show last night about the list of things that are concerns that are on my prayer list, and how it's really truly at a place of trust in just about every one of those areas. And she was saying, of course, you put it on the altar, leave it there. It's there. But when you actually look at how many of those items are there that you're looking to God to do something about, and then it's something too when it looks like he's worked it out, and then hell breaks loose, and the one thing that seems like it was about to work, it's life. But you have to trust that he knew that was going to happen. And it at the end of the day, when things break loose like that, it returns back to the foundation of, you have to trust. And so even now in my speech, it is wholeheartedly my desire to be as intentional as possible with the things that I say. I have noticed in the gospel music community, there is a lot of gospel. Of course, you want to talk about those that you like and things that have happened and going on, but what are you doing? What can we do together? And it seems like my having those thoughts has me on the sideline, instead of being connected with others who have that same feeling. Like, how can we work? Because I'm really not concerned with what they're doing. It's interesting talking about a condensed life. As a minister of music, I ask my choir members to just share with me the music that they're listening to, because I don't hardly listen to new music. I just don't. And I said hardly, I do at times, and especially when they do send it, because I'm still, my focus and my heart leans toward choir, gospel music, choir music. And it would seem like, well, you need to expand. No, that is who I am. I'm in school now. I'm not in the chorale at this point because I've met all my requirements for that. And so I need to do other things like be in the studio on the night that the chorale meets. But I love the choir. And whatever they're singing, which is usually something secular, I'm singing whatever they're singing. And if somebody actually wants me to sing with them and they're doing something secular, hey, if I'm not doing something in the church, I'm open to seeing what's going on. I am, but those opportunities rarely come up. And so I think about being intentional even with that, because it also is about relationship building. There's a classmate who plays guitar, and many of you may know that we're planning a concert on June 14th in 2025 to celebrate graduation. And my heart is to showcase some of the music majors that I've had the opportunity to serve with over these past 3 years. And so after class, I stopped him and asked, do you know any gospel songs? And he said, no, not really. I said, okay. And I told him what I was doing. He said, oh, that would be amazing. I'm interested. I said, okay, well, we have 9 months to get something for you to play, even if it's just a musical something. It doesn't have to have words with it. But of course, you know my mind that he could be part of my, he and I doing a duet during the concert where he plays and I sing, we write something together. But we haven't gotten that far. It's just the thought of building that relationship. And so then, of course, if he has something secular, he's like, Jabez, I know you play by ear. Are you able to come help us out on keys on this? Yeah, I don't have anything else to do. And y'all have a check? Okay. Now, of course, if you have a lot of cussing and all that kind of thing and the racial slurs and what have you, then that's not an atmosphere I want to be in. And I don't believe those who know me would invite me to such an atmosphere because they know who I am. But my life it's been condensed. I barely know current events. Barely. The only reason I know some of the things that I didn't know there was about to be a debate, except for the fact that we had to write a paper over it in class. And I won't say any more about that, but I'm just not interested, especially when you know that at least one of those individuals involved is not really focused or intentionally speaking about helping the American people. When we're speaking of intention, that is exactly what I'm referring to. And I think when we pass one another in passing, if I ask you, how are you? We've kind of dealt with this before. Do I really want to know how are you? Because that really is a loaded question. So I just learned to say, hey, or greetings, or good afternoon, good morning, and keep on going because, well, then if we say, how are you, then that means we want to talk to each other. I mean, most people just, how are you? I'm good. Oh, how are you? I'm good, thank you. And we keep going, but it was a possibility for the conversation to keep going because we asked that, and the question becomes, okay, so what was the intention of asking that person, how are you? Something happened today that got my attention as I was leaving campus. A college student actually looked me in the eye and said hello. I'm so used to them keeping their eyes down, and I'm looking, trying to see, are you going to look up and speak? And the horrible part is when there are employees who do the same thing. Now, at least with the employees, you'll have a ratio more of them than the college students who do that. But when this college student spoke and we had the "How are you?" it really, I was ready to stop and find out, well, okay, who are you? Because this is just so unusual. And you're in the fine arts building, okay, what? But he was looked like he was on a mission, so I wanted to get home too, and my mind was turning. So I wanted to come on here and share. So I came on. But intention is so important. I hosted a meeting in which I was giving leadership. And one of the participants in the meeting was sharing a concern. And I understood the concern. Once they shared it, I understood what they were saying. But you kind of have to know people or have some modicum of knowledge about a person, having watched their movements before and how they say things and how they do things. And this particular person, if I would have let them, would have just kept going, trying to explain and tell why they think this should have happened. And so I'm trying to get them to understand the decision was a decision that I made. And because it would seem like they didn't understand, I had to shut it down and give them the understanding that it's not going to be revealed. What you know is what you know. And if, of course, if those who want to share do share, that's different. But when I was working on this, it was to get insight from people who have expressed concerns. And so then this person now is gone. And it's sad because you see so much potential and you think there's maturity and you think that there is going to be such an asset to really help propel the kingdom of God forward in this ministry, in and through this ministry. Because when you're new, I think it is, or it's my conviction that as a leader, you don't just throw people into leadership positions as they come aboard. And it takes time, but if you're impatient and you're easily offended and you do not take time to go to the one that you're offended with, but you go to other people, I don't know, but I was intentional in what I said, and that was the whole point of that. I was intentional in the move that I made and intentional in my response so that the room full of other people could feel okay that the leader of the meeting has authority in the meeting and is not letting somebody just take over the time and keep us held here saying the same things. And I keep praying because God help me not to be easily offended and to make quick, immature decisions, because I've done it. I have done it. And I've paid the consequences. Sometimes when you're having to wait and be still, it is not easy. But I'm learning that it pays off, because sometimes you wonder, why am I here? This may be working, but what about that, God? What about that? And so you have to realize that what's working is what needs to work, and trust God that it may not be working here and it may not be working now, but because this is on your heart and your mind, this is a desire that God has given you, then you keep trusting that it will come to pass. And I think one of the reasons that I'm so excited to talk to my next guest, which we're probably going to end up doing 2 or 3 parts, is because from my understanding, we have a lot of similar views when it comes to the number of ministries we've worked in and served in. And that's something I want to dispel too, because a lot of people say musicians are hirelings, especially those of us who serve at two churches. But even in the situation that I'm in, I'm a member at one church and I serve as the organist at the other. Yes, I'm at the other to receive a paycheck, but there is a but. I am also there to serve because I'm a kingdom servant. I dare not just go there and play the organ. Not when there's kingdom work to be done. Not when God puts it on somebody's heart to say, can you teach this lesson or what have you? How dare I say no? That's my heart. That's my thought. And so I'm not just there to receive a check. It's possibly the quote unquote primary reason, because I believe God has me there so that my household can be provided for. This is the means by which He has enabled me to provide for my household thus far. And so that is provision for my household. But it comes right back to that but. And so anyhow, I'm looking forward to possibly sharing with my special guest. If he is unavailable for this week, I will be back to share some more, but I'm trying to make this as short as possible so that when his video is added in, it won't be as long. But I do believe that once we get talking, it's gonna be something. So God bless you to each of you, and stay tuned. Season's greetings. God bless you to each of you. Welcome to the J Bass Today Show. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, I want to start off by letting you know that I am eating some cookies and some milk. I'm eating it right now, and so I will be taking a couple of bites while we are discussing what we're discussing today. And I also want to let you know that my special guest, I discovered, has a wedding anniversary this week. And so we want to shout out Pastor Broderick James and Lady LaJoy James in their anniversary this week. And I say, hey, enjoy. And so he was unable to be with me this week, but stay tuned. Okay. And so God bless you to each of you. And again, welcome to the J Bass Today Show. I am I'm grateful to have this opportunity to share whether things are all that you would hope and pray they would be or not. It's being grateful that things are as well as they are. The choice of having this particular cookie with this particular milk, I'm grateful that things are as well as they are. And of course, there's so many other things, and I'm so grateful to God that they are as well as they are, because really, we understand they could be much worse. I think about for this season of life, there's so much to pray for that my response is just simply thanks. It is simply thanks, to thank God for just knowing that He's in control, that He sees all, He knows all. And because of that, and He has all the resources necessary to take care of every need that we have. Everything belongs to Him. Okay, put all that on the table. Well, that means every prayer request that I have, he already first and foremost knows and already has an answer for it. For the things that I pray for, my family, friends, and believe in God for these dreams and goals to be what he said they will be. He said, so I'm looking forward to it. Hey, greater God, greater, greater, greater. And so God bless you to each of you. I'd already recorded, as you saw earlier. And so I just wanted to be sure to add this extra video before releasing this episode to let you know that we were unable to have our additional guest here. And so I just wanted to at least wrap it up. And I'm always open for conversation. I've said that so many times that if you want to come on and talk to me, let's talk. From all over the world, let's talk. I love you all. God bless you. Holla. Okay, welcome back. Now, I hope you didn't think I forgot that this is episode 45. Y'all, at the thought of that, it makes me want to take a bite of this cookie and have some of this milk. Mm-hmm. 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 Y'all just don't understand. When I tell you don't understand what that mixture, everything that encompassed that whole experience. It just melts and it crunches. It's just something. It's something to behold on the palate of the tongue and the taste and yeah, you understand what I'm saying. But this is episode 45. This is episode 45. This is episode 45. This is episode 45. We made it. It's been 45 weeks. We made it. Ooh, had some times of tragedies. 45 weeks. God's been so good. We made it to episode 45. We made it, yes we did, we made it to episode 45. Greater.
It's the J Bass Today Show. Change your attitude, you can change your life. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I found out. Now I'm telling you.